This episode of Speakers of Hydaelyn is made possible by our generous patrons. Special thanks to our supreme and master speakers, Omeji Cat Comet, Erisu Yamakawa, Circa Barrakiel, Alex Franco AV, Winebow Brood, Psyche, Azuta Starbreeze, Cletus Oreo, Nina Grimstarter, Nat Clay, Lily Black, Bob Cece, Mikto Robintau, Sapa Chakwatol, Edwin, Arcadia Lunashine, Umbral Wind, Quick Levin, Pamela Isley, Camille Grinno, Elenriel Maximus, Coderith Novelist, Mira Miri, Suno Chicano, Celestau Notrell, Lazy Boy, A Wild Sarah, Luke Osborne, Pandaloo Stormarrow, Tex, Kai Lin, AJ Brainswordson, Anathos Moonscar, Arthur Law, Beridan Derard, Sypop, Spencer Christmas, Noy Fafnir, Cheshire Saltiri, Celine DeLune, Wibsta Wolf, Face on Masher, and Severa. Support the show and become a patron today at patreon.com/SpeakersXIV. Thank you.
This is Speakers of Hydaelyn.
Good evening, Aorsians. Welcome to Speakers of Hydaelyn, episode 319. I'm Lakeel Bravestone, and I'm joined today by Georgi Wiston, Mela Vanadar, and not Rollo Dez. We're Rollo-less today. He was feeling a little under the weather, we are. It's just the three of us today. It is October 1st. We have entered a spooky season. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Today's main topics, we have a Eurogamer interview with Yoshi-P. There's a lot of Yoshi-P today. It's a Yoshi-P special. So Eurogamer interview.
Not sponsored.
Hashtag not sponsored by Yoshi-P, although we are open to that. And there was also an NGC stream where Yoshi-P dropped some more information about the delay for Endwalker, as well as MSQ, the 6.0 MSQ, and I think the level 89 trial. So we'll dive into that. Also read MogMail, speakersxv.com/MogMail. Stay tuned for the post-show. We'll be answering questions from the Syndicate. First, we have channel updates. We have a little bit of channel updates today, so we're going to talk about that right now. It is October 2022. So that means Spooktober. I mean, technically, Spooktober has started now because it's October. But we won't be doing anything spooky today. We're gonna do it tomorrow. That's when we kick off. I think it's currently the schedule is Mana Medan tomorrow. But it all hinges on Rollo being there, so might be subject to change. But yeah, so if you want to know more about that, you go to speakersxv.com/ I think it's Spooktober22 to get to that. That's for audio listeners. I think there's a command in chat. I think it's just exclamation Spooktober. So that's Spooktober. Anything else you want to add about Spooktober that I forgot? No.
Spooky.
It's spooky.
I mean, it transitions into the next topic.
Does it?
Spooktober merch.
Oh yeah, there's merch as well on our store. You can find the link to that on our website. I don't remember the link. The link is kind of stupid because it's a spring store, so I don't remember the speakersxv. Is that real anymore? I don't know. I'm gonna click that and see.
I mean, I think it works.
It redirects you. Yeah.
It's actually speakersxiv.creator-spring.com.
Yeah. You can, if you want, easier to remember. Oh, you froze. An easier way to remember it is speakersxiv. Just go to speakersxiv.com and just go to the merch button on the website. If you don't remember,
There's a bath mat there.
There is a bath mat there. I saw it and I'm like, of course we're gonna have a bath mat. That is not Spooktober merch. That's just general speakers merch.
Yeah, that's like, that's permanent.
Yeah.
Get your bath mat whenever you want it.
Yeah.
Spooktober stuff. There's some cool stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
A nice design.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Also, for those that were there when we talked about it yesterday, I have updated the design, so it actually has the full characters now. It doesn't have the cut off at the bottom. Because what I originally did is I just took the logo, which is cut at the bottom. So I had to go back and redo it. So you can get the full body now, which that sounds wrong.
Hey.
But
Hope you didn't buy one already.
no, well, no.
Or
I
if you
checked.
did, it's
I checked
mega
beforehand.
Well,
Merch.
if you,
I
if
checked
you-
beforehand.
no one did, because then you could have had a very unique
Yeah.
product then.
Yes. Okay, moving on. I have to talk about some Patreon stuff because I get a lot of questions, and now I just want to finish talking about it. So I'm doing it here because I know all patrons can hear this because we're all kind of spread out. That's kind of the problem. So I'm gonna switch us over. I have a little TED Talk. Little TED Talk. Where is it? It's called Patch Notes.
I love the Holy Roman Empire
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
logo.
Yeah, it is. That's our Patreon logo. You've seen this before,
Beautiful.
Mela?
Yeah, I know. It's just beautiful.
Yeah. It's it's beautiful.
SPQR or whatever is the
Yeah. Okay, so first I want to talk about Fallen Rise. Well, the reason why I have to bring this up is because the way Patreon works here is that there's sort of two platforms that we're using right now. We're using Patreon and then we use Discord. Mostly Discord nowadays. And I'll talk about that a little later. All right, I'm just gonna. Here it is. It's on screen.
Oh my
We
God.
have Fallen Rise ready. So for patrons, you'll notice it's a bit of a gap between public release and Patreon. It's because I like to have a buffer. You'll see that episode 11 will release November 5th for patrons, and then January 6th next year for YouTube, and then on January 9th, and then on the 9th. For patrons, they'll get episode 12. So that way, Patreon is always ahead of public release. That's how I've always wanted it to be. So that's Fallen Rise. So yeah, we'll talk about
That's
how
exciting.
that is exciting. Also, Remnants of a Realm is coming back with the Diadem Disaster. So
Crap.
that will release on March 13th. That's like far into next year.
Look at the sun. The sun,
Yeah, remember
whatever
that?
it was. Yeah.
What a
Best in
joke.
slot if you were lucky.
Yeah. So that's March 13th for patrons next year, and then April 1st for YouTube. Now, here's how this is all the content you're missing out on if you don't check the Discord. I'm just saying this now. So what you see with the red and blue is what you get as Master and Supreme, and then within the green one is what you get as Senior Speaker, right? So there's all of the live streams for 1.0 and Secrets Return to SoH. All of those VODs are available in that channel. You can go all the way back to the very first one. It's all there. Movie Night also on the Patreon channel. I think it's called Movie Night. I feel like we don't really talk about Movie Night or the Star Trek thing that we do because we do that every week. Well, I mean, Movie Night is the last Thursday of the month, and then Star Trek is every Thursday up till the last Thursday of the month, right? So every Thursday there's a live stream. It's either Movie Night or Star Trek. Right now we've made it to Deep Space Nine. Also, which I feel like this is a big thing. The Eurovision live coverage is still available. It's been archived. It's locked. You can't talk in there anymore. But the last messages are literally all of the episodes listed, so you can watch the entire Eurovision thing. And of course, access to questions from the syndicate. And that's all on Discord. On the Patreon website, you are only getting the podcast in video and audio form. And then, of course, all the major releases. And the reason why is because I hate the UI on Patreon. I hate posting on it because sometimes it crashes while I'm writing the description. So if you want the more interactive stuff, like I mentioned in this one, make sure you go to the Discord to check, because a lot of messages come in like, where is this? Where do I go to get this? It's here. It's on the Discord. So please go there. Was there anything else? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's on Discord. That's where it's happening. And then there's Chronicles of a Realm, which will remain Patreon exclusive now. That's continuing, and I will finish the Ul'dah story, but you're gonna have to wait for this one because I do this when there's nothing else going on, like when I feel like I can do other projects. That's when I do this. So there you go. That's where you can find all your stuff. Thank you.
Reached the end of the presentation. Do you have any printouts?
Yeah, just showing some. Oh, I was thinking about that. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Now you know. Okay. Now we can move on to the main show. Let's jump into recent events. Whew. Okay. This is recent events. In the first recent event, a very I don't know. This is the first. No, this is not the first. Okay. Whew. This is Earth, not the first. This is a weird announcement. There is a post was posted on the Lodestone. Announcing
much of their news is announced.
Yeah, where they announced the temporary suspension of online store gift code purchases.
Oh no!
I know it's a big deal. In preparation for a renewal of the online store gift code purchase feature scheduled for late October, gift code purchases will be temporarily unavailable, starting from the maintenance of September 27th and lasting until the renewal is completed. But gift codes purchased prior to the maintenance can still be used after September 27th. We apologize for any inconvenience. So there you go.
How am I gonna launder my money now?
Yeah.
Laundering your money through 14 online store purchases.
I've got hundreds of thousands of fat cat mounts. Just waiting to sell them.
I'm curious as to what this is.
Yeah.
Like what do they mean?
Maybe they're getting more
changing
keys.
some back end stuff. Yeah,
Oh,
or maybe
maybe.
the keys have run out. Maybe they're increasing the size of the code so they can have more keys.
Yeah. Yeah, that means temporary suspension of all giveaways for 14 streamers.
I mean, well, if they have the keys already, they should work.
Well, yeah.
That's
but-
true.
Yeah.
You just can't buy new ones right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So there you go. Very exciting news. Yesterday was a big day. 14. Oh God, numbers. 1.0 turned 12 yesterday on September 30th.
Wow! Congratulations.
Congratulations. It's well, I mean, rest in peace.
Turned 12.
Yeah. It always brings up the question, where would we be in the game today if it had continued? And I think we
I
talked
don't think we'd have
briefly.
even got to Ishgard.
We would have been in Ishgard. That was
Maybe
always
just.
planned to be
we-
the first
I
expansion.
think we would have got to Ishgard, and that's as far
Yeah,
as we
but
would
with
have gone.
Tanaka's leadership.
Well,
Maybe
you know
like
what?
last year we'd have just got the first
I'm gonna
expansion.
say something here that I'm gonna defend him on one thing. I think it would have been more focused on Eorzea, and I think we would go to Ishgard first. We would go to Alamigo next, and only Alamigo, and then we wouldn't. I don't know if Doma was ever a thing that they had thought of at all, and I think we would go to Garlemald next. I think that would be the how it would go with Tanaka behind
Is
the
there
wheel.
any records of anything mentioning Doma at all in 1.0?
No. There is
Not
a
even
mention.
Ninja was
There's
in the
actually
game.
a mention of they rewrote, like there was Dalmasca, but it was called Nalmasca or something. Nalmask. Yeah, that was mentioned as being over there, but that's a Garlean province, I think. Old Charleon as well, obviously. We would have finished the map that we were presented in 1.0 with all the settlements on it. All of those would be thing. But I think the ultimate one would be, like, the Endwalker of Tanaka's 1.0 would be Eorzea versus Garlemald. I think that's how it was trying to build it back then. So, yeah, that would have been interesting.
To Ishgard and it wouldn't have had any snow. It would have been so...
Yeah, it would be weird, wouldn't it?
Weird, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah. So, well, in an alternate universe, that has happened.
Maybe in this world, Charleon would have been the snowy region of Eorzea.
Oh, now that would have been interesting.
Wasn't Charleon, like, further down? Like, it was where it's in Dravania. It's, like, the lower part of Dravania.
It's in Dravania, which is, like, on the same... It's like at the same.
Yeah, that's true. They could have maybe done it, I guess. Yeah, well, there you go. Happy birthday. Well, rest in peace. Happy birthday.
Goblins in 1.0.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were they friendly like they are in that one, or were they enemies?
They were friendly ones.
I think so. I don't.
How big was like the beast tribe, like friendly beast tribe?
There was no
style gameplay. There wasn't really any of that, was there?
There was no beast tribe stuff.
No,
really.
But they were all enemies, like Sahagin or whatever, or kobolds if there were any.
You had them assaulting things in Hamlet defense.
Yeah. They were definitely on the enemy face back then. I don't think there were. I'm trying to think back, but nowadays, like A Realm Reborn again and 1.0 is just melding together. I'm trying to imagine if there's like any goblins in Limsa, but I'm just thinking about the A Realm Reborn ones, the Keykern and all that. No, I don't remember, but that would have been interesting as well, because we've twisted it to be like, or not twisted it, but we've like pivoted to being like beast tribes are essentially just like us. We've just oppressed them.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like wondering in Tanaka's world, would it ever have come around to the point where beast tribes tribes are on the same level as broken races of Eorzea?
Because would
they forever be a second class?
Yeah, it would have.
I think they'd have always been enemies.
Because in 1.0 they were definitely the enemy, like big E enemy. They were attacking hamlets, and yeah, it was bad. Okay. That's it with 1.0. Now we can move on to the stuff that Yoshi-P had to say on the NGC Twitch stream.
If anyone knows what that means, please let us know.
Yeah. This comes to us from I literally meant to put their name in, but I didn't.
It's M Killerby.
There you go.
They've done things before that we've discussed on the podcast.
Yeah, I'll just read the post. Yesterday, NGC's Twitch channel streamed the final part of Endwalker's MSQ, guest starring Yoshida. Here are some highlights from the stream commentary. Yoshida discussed the reasons for the 2-week delay to Endwalker's release date, commenting that, while not the only reason, an important reason was making alterations to some of the final scenes and NPC dialogue in Ultima Thule before entering the Dead Ends. He says he selfishly decided to go for the delay instead of going another 10 years regretting not putting it in. I feel like we've heard this before in a similar...
I don't think it was... I can't remember if they directly said it was like from the Ultima Thule section of the MSQ.
Well, yeah, he did. It was said that it was MS or like plot related, but it wasn't said exactly where it was or where it was in the story.
Yeah. And then Emmett Selk's final speech, where he gives you that list of locations for us as SM to discover, wasn't there originally, but it was felt that this section ended too quickly, so it was added.
That's nice. I'm glad they added that.
Yeah.
The game was speculation.
If you read the next sentence, it makes a lot of sense as well.
Ishikawa was worried that people would stop at 6.0, so he decided to add this speech in. That's what I was going to say as well. It's like it was nice to know that there was something coming after this, because it was very final. Remember how they presented Endwalker's like, oh, it's the end of the adventure, it's the end of the arc. So it was nice to know that there's still stuff around, and of course we knew there was stuff around. I mean, a lot of Eorzea itself hasn't really been explored either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so here's some stuff on the Hydaelyn fight. The fight was designed so that all the Trust NPCs would be able to deal with the mechanics.
You would hope so.
Yeah. But that's interesting, though. That's like a change in how they do it. Is like now they're designing the fights a trial with Trust NPCs in mind. So
not necessarily a positive in all respects, because the AI in this game is
I know, but
spectacular, it does reduce.
I think that the battle designers will think like you, Mela, and they will push the AI to fit what they want. So it's
better.
Possibly a good thing as well in that sense.
But it doesn't matter for the actually good, like the extremes anyway. They're the good fights.
Yeah.
The normal version just needs to be cinematic. So.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Well, don't they design? How does that actually work? Because usually, what they do is they do the base fight is the extreme fight, and then they modify it. But here they say that they design it. I wonder at what point they do it. Do they design the extreme one with an
No, I
NPCs
don't.
in mind?
I suspect they wouldn't. I suspect they would design the extreme.
So
fight,
when they
see what
scale it down is when they do
yeah,
that.
They'd see what the NPCs can probably deal with in the extreme version of the fight, see what they can't deal with, and then alter them for the normal mode.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. It's deliberately designed that Estinian greeds the mechanics early in the fight, but gradually plays it safer and avoids more as time goes on. That's funny. I like
what
that they
about
put...
Azdaja, because I feel like she's the bigger problem.
Yeah,
she's always a problem in dungeons.
Yeah.
Estinian you'd think would be more cautious, but I suppose he is Dragoon.
He is, yeah. When Hydaelyn commands you to read the flow of the ether, Y'shtola executes all the mechanics that follow perfectly.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I like that they have personality in their how they work. They're not just like generic AI reactions to mechanics. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is some more comments on the Endwalker main story. Yoshida says that after returning from Elpis, Emmett Selk's narration changes that now it sounds like he knows the truth of everything.
What does this mean? Because it's not like once we go to Elpis that he has all this understanding. I would suspect that he regained his memories when he died.
Yeah.
Yeah, surely that's the...
Yeah, that might be.
Now he's sort of... It all fits together and he's like, that's what I always thought it was.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I guess so.
Because within his lifetime, we'd already been there anyway when he was originally with us.
Yeah.
And then had his memory wiped. Mm-hmm. So it must just be nice.
I thought he got his memory back when... I mean, maybe the idea is that, like, once Hitler Deus got back, but that was after the moon. That, things really came into place for him.
Yeah. Okay. They hadn't come up with Dynamis as a concept yet when Shadowbringers was released.
That was evident. That's very, very evident.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised that it was even as late as Shadowbringers that they didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Incredibly tacked on feeling. But it's nice, I guess. It's fun to have something new to explore.
We've discussed
I know
this
that
before,
some people feel that it's tacked on. I personally don't think it's like that out of place. I think they're able to justify it pretty well for the most part.
Yeah, they're able to make it fit in reasonably well, I think.
Yeah.
But it did just sort of come out of nowhere.
It did. I mean, it did come out of nowhere. Even within the development team, it came out of nowhere. Clearly, but it is what it is. When it is introduced, I feel like it's done properly, so it doesn't feel that weird.
Yeah.
Even though
the only thing I don't like much is the sort of the Thavnerian
side of it,
because they're like, oh, we've always had this concept of Akasha.
Right.
Yeah, they have the concept. They have the concept of Akasha, but like even Ninhana said that like it's not a commonly like studied or understood branch of magic. It's just something they gave a word to. I mean, that's the same way in the real world. Some countries have names, words for concepts that other countries don't, even though they both understand it.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it anymore, but it
is.
Yeah.
I mean, the more you think about the past in the game, though, the more pop up it feels, because we've had like pretty deep dives into how the world works with ether. Like we went heavy into how the world is made up of ether, and at no point did anyone ever mention Dynamis or Akasha in any way.
Yeah.
As like, oh, there's a foreign concept. Do you know what I mean? So that's how it felt like to me. But
And ether was sort of shoehorned into fitting into more and more concepts as it went on as well.
Yeah. But then again,
Mm-hmm.
it was introduced well. I think it was fine. They just had to do it. That was just the concept for the expansion.
And one of the things that they've reinforced throughout the expansion is that like Aetheris is a particularly ether dense planet,
right.
So that like places that are more influenced by Dynamis in general are places that are in space.
Yeah.
Which probably aren't places we're going to be visiting anytime soon.
Right. Okay, after the voice recording for Hydaelyn / Vana was finished, her voice actress, Inoue
Kikuko.
Yeah, said that
Kikuko.
said that she felt her earlier lines lacked the appropriate strength and intelligence for the character. So, on her request, almost all the lines were re-recorded.
So I read on the Reddit thread that. So I read on the Reddit thread that this voice actress is only 17. That's remarkably insightful for someone so young.
Yeah. Uriange's scene with Monbrida's parents was the scene with the highest number of retakes in voice recording.
That was probably my favorite scene in the expansion.
It's probably my favorite scene as well.
Yeah. The devs wanted people to hate Hermes and Meteon at a ratio of about 6-4, but it ended up more like 9-1. What?
That's such a funny way of writing this.
Can I ask? How do you interpret that sentence? Because
I don't know.
Okay, Mela, how do you interpret that sentence?
People should hate the two characters of Hermes and Meteon. Like 6 people should hate them to 4 people should like them.
Yeah.
No, that is not what is meant by this sentence. Is what I've read. What I got from reading the thread further. What it's saying is 6 people should hate Hermes compared to 4 people hating Meteon.
Oh, that's a weird ratio.
What is actually meant by this sentence. So what it ended up being is that many people hated Hermes much more than people ended up hating Meteon.
I find that hard to believe. I would have imagined it more the other way around. Well, not
that
9
more people would hate
1.
Meteon.
Yeah.
That much? 9-1?
Not 9-1. No, I would go with that.
I mean, it's because people don't think that it's Meteon's fault, and also because she's a cute little girl.
Why did they write it to like that? That's confusing. Okay, yeah.
I thought it was very confusing as well. That's what I interpreted the same way that you guys did until I read further through the Reddit thread.
So really, 9. Wow, that's okay. I mean, sure. Mela is the one, I guess, in this group that really hates Meteon, which interesting.
I mean, I don't hate either of them. I think this is just a percentage of people that hate.
Hate is a strong word. I don't think I'd hate either of them either.
I don't like them particularly much, but that's the game's fault more than anything. I think for making them such quickly introduced characters. We've been through this, but I don't think they're developed strongly enough to get to make that decision.
Yeah. Frustrated.
They could have been like excellent characters if it had just been split into the 2 expansions. These could have had so much development.
Yeah.
And when you finally get to that tragic moment where, Hermes is at the end of his tether and like he has no options left.
Yeah.
Then it would have been more dramatic, I think. But they're fine. I don't care anymore. It's over.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, we've established Rollo and I are much higher on Hermes and Meteon than Nikhil and Mela are.
Yeah. I think I'm like... I think Hermes is a better character, is a good character. I think he was not given enough time to develop in the story. That's all.
Yeah.
Meteon,
Meteon's whatever.
Bird girl.
Well, the thing about Meteon is that she's barely a character, and she's designed that way.
Yeah.
She's designed entirely as an AI, essentially, to do what she's told.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, Yoshida cried the most over the Urianger scenes. He has a lot of feelings for Urianger, and Alphino in particular.
That's understandable.
Mm-hmm.
I think Urianger has always been made to be this like very adult, like well-grounded character, and he's not really given the time to be emotional.
Right.
He
Yeah.
has to be the dad of the group, whatever, or more. I don't know.
Well, I feel as if like Urianger, when you like, he presents himself as being particularly mature, but when you dig down into it, you can tell that he is the youngest between him, Y'shtola, and Thancred.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think I think internally he's much more vulnerable than he lets on.
Yeah.
Well, also, Yoshi-P's attachment to Alphino makes sense. He's essentially the surrogate protagonist besides the Warrior of Light. He's like, even over Alizé, Alphino has been alongside us since 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense.
It was brought up whether Thancred and Reen might be able to reunite. Yoshida said that while currently they can't, Thancred has no regrets.
Thank God. Yes, Reen, stay in your expansion.
I don't know why you think. I mean, I know that you're attached to this, but I'm pretty sure she's at some point in this game's lifespan, she's going to re-enter the story, Mela.
Oh God.
When the Shard arc comes to an end, Mela, she's going to play a huge role in the story. She's going to be the Y'shtola of that. Yeah. Okay, the devs struggled with what dialogue options to put in for the final encounter with Xenos, since players each have their own feelings about him. They sure do. He says that there is no correct answer to the final question Xenos asks us. That I can't deny. Think what you will, but I'm not letting you leave this place, or I've had enough of you. It ends here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. There couldn't be a right option there because go on, Gurgi.
The impression I've also gotten is that I don't think, with the concept that you have to fight Xenos, I don't think they would have ever been able to write a particular line that could satisfy some people, is what I've gotten the impression.
Yes, that's true.
No. That was a weird scene.
Yeah, it was a little weird.
The end of Endwalker was quite weird.
Is this only on my end that Mela's stuttering, or is it?
No, I'm having issues with Discord.
Oh, we're having a Discord day today because Georgi also froze for a second.
It pauses every now and then.
Happens.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
The issue is much harder, is much more obvious with Mela for me.
Okay. What was I saying? Yeah, that was a weird scene. It was a weird. It was kind of like. We've talked about this a long time ago now, but it's weird when it happens because it feels like I break character for a second just to do that like weird like thing that you do when you'd say that. I don't know. It was a weird
option
moment.
You pick.
Yeah, but I picked the one that I thought. I mean, these are none of them I probably would say. I just say fuck you. I don't know. I just don't like Xenos. So to me, it was like whatever I pick here, it's not going to match. Okay. I mean, I did pick I've had enough of you. It ends here. But my character's like...
He just saved the day.
I don't fucking care. I hate his guts.
I think Rollo and I both picked that. I can't deny.
Yeah.
I don't know what Mela did.
I think I picked that as well, if I remember right. It's been a while.
I don't actually remember.
Xenos. He won the game. Without Xenos, you'd never have been able to kill the
Did you say you can't hate Xenos?
Yeah, he saved the day.
Okay, I didn't hear Mela actually say that. I don't disagree. I don't agree with Mela on that. You can very easily hate Xenos.
The end singer would not have been killed without
what is happening?
Xenos turning into Shinji.
Whether or not that's true, Mela, it doesn't mean that you can't hate him.
Mela's sawing chaos in here. I don't get this. I know that Mela liked. Mela used to like Xenos at the end of
Storm. Everyone used to like Xenos, and then there's been this global wipeout.
You're very mistaken
on that. Excuse me.
Because even in Stormblood, Mela, I found Xenos to be a very
we actually have on record how we felt about Xenos, and it is very clear that none of us, except for you, were a big fan of Xenos. Okay. Right. Anyways, more important stuff about the grapes. The detail is reduced on objects like the grapes that most people won't see very closely to help people's performance remain stable. However, this time, the low poly grapes stood out because they were focused on in a cutscene. Also, apparently there's been requests for merch of the grapes, to which Yoshida said joke items don't actually sell.
Look at our store.
That's literally our store. We're not right now, though. We don't have any joke items. Oh, well, the fucking
The
tree.
bath mat.
The bath.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's kind of a joke. Time will tell if that doesn't sell. I know. I know. I have one sale, and that's for myself that I will use for my shower. Okay. Anyways, yes, this is the thing that I've had a problem with in this game for a long time, and that's sometimes they have low quality assets, and that's fine. But why the fuck do you focus on it? Like, why would you have like a close up of like again Raoban's like cape?
Oh, it's
like,
good. I love it when that happens.
Why do you do that? Like, because we will see it and be like, oh, that's really ugly. There's no other reaction in your mind than, oh, that looks ugly.
They don't want you looking at his cape. You're supposed to be looking at his face and only his face. Don't let your eyes wander.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. And how the grapes, and again, I think that was really telling of that cutscene, was because they're so used to it. They're like, people are used to us having some shitty graphics. Who cares about the polygonal grapes? A lot of people did, because that was a big standout in that. I forgot what the rest of that cutscene was about. I only remember the grapes.
Right? I forgot what MMO I was playing.
Yeah, I thought I was playing RuneScape.
RuneScape, yeah, exactly.
Okay, in the final dialogue with Astinian, just before the end of the final Endwalker quest, he says something about a strange costume. This is the guy in a blue elephant suit in Imperium, who's actually Emmerich.
I mean, I'm sure people have figured this out by now.
Yes, that's just
people have
now Yoshida has said it too. The devs made adjustments to the Argos mount to make it cuter. They failed.
It's so cute.
Mission failed.
Adorable.
It is the ugliest dog
Beautiful
I have ever
eyes.
seen in my entire life. And I've seen a lot of ugly
Majestic.
dogs. There is something demonic about its design, and I can't put my finger on it. It is as if a human skull got like mutated and turned into like a dog. That's what happened. And it is really upsetting.
Yeah, how dare you?
And I hate that we're forced to get that mount. I have to know that I have that mount, and it makes me uncomfortable.
You weren't just forced to get it, you were forced to ride on it during integral parts of the MSQ.
All I can think about is that like commercial, the chips, the crisps commercial from Japan.
Consomme punch.
Yeah. It is literally the same dog. Okay.
It is, yeah.
The devs had Kaworu in mind when they made the end. Who's that? When they
It's a character from Evangelion.
Oh, of course it is. In mind when they made the Endwalker post-credit scene showing Elidibus and Elpis. Translator's note. Now I think of it, the cutaway to Elidibus in that scene and Kaworu in I can't read. Kaworu in especially the Rebuild movies do have a similar mysterious silver-haired pretty boy drops vague hints on plot vibe. Edit. A comment points out Elidibus and Kaworu had the same voice actor.
Ishida Akira.
I should have realized this, especially with all the fun I've been having with the La Habrea equals car stuff the devs did in Abyss. Char. I don't know any of that weeb shit that just happened.
I can.
Yeah,
I love that you say that when a lot of it has influenced the game. I would have never drawn. That's actually very. This is very interesting because I never made the comparison of Elidibus to this particular character type that's very common in anime and like other Japanese media of like the mysterious white-haired young man. I never made that connection because of the fact that our Elidibus has such an old man voice that I would have never. Because these characters are normally designed to be like sort of androgynously appealing, but because of how Elidibus is characterized, or at least presented to us in the English version, I don't know if it translates.
Ah, okay. Well, there you go.
That's fine. I like our Elidibus.
Yeah.
Whether
I
or
just
not
wish
he
he didn't
looks
have the
like
voice.
this little man.
Well, I think the issue is that like they picked his voice actor long before his canonical appearance appeared. So
Oh.
now
Yeah.
it just feels very out of place.
Yeah. Okay, in some other tidbits, the dev's codename for the Landwaffe mount is Zoid. I'm sorry.
Oh my god, is that for a Zed Knights and Zoids reference? Oh my god, that's cool.
What are Zed Knights?
Zed Knights and Zoids was this. I don't even really know, but we have loads of figures of them from when I was a child. It must have been some
'Cause
TV show.
Because Zoids is an anime. I don't know anything about Zed Knights. I feel like it's more likely to be referencing something that is a Japanese product than whatever you're referencing, unless that is also Japanese.
I'd have to look into this. But
Okay.
I'll see if I can get back to it at some point. But
Okay.
it was a big thing when I was a child.
All right. The size of the Final Fantasy XIV development team is now about 230 people.
I assume that's just on the programming side, or at least like the internal side. I imagine it doesn't include things like voice actors and stuff like that.
Development team. So that would be them, yes.
Like, how far does the development team expect?
Anyone who works on the game code or does like anything that goes into the game. I mean, a voice actor wouldn't be a developer.
See, yeah, I know, but the thing is, like, that's the thing. Like how much to do with the game code is Soken doing? That's
That's music. That's definitely dev. That's on the dev side, I think.
Yeah.
See, that's like
because he's developing
just-
music for the game.
yeah.
Yeah.
In studio people, whereas the voice actors they
But does
hire
that
for like a day, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I assume it also includes like the translation team,
Translation
and the story
team,
writers.
art team,
Localization.
concept, localization, all that.
Yeah.
Basically,
Does it
it's
include
on
localization?
payroll.
Because I think the localization team is very big.
For 14, doesn't 14 have like their own localization team?
Yeah, it does. But like how? And I know that the localization team
I
is
feel
very
like
large.
this is very
'cause that makes-
nitpicky. We were like trying to
No,
figure out
because-
exactly where the line
Because
goes.
like, if the localization team includes like, I think it includes like up to 20 people.
Yeah.
That already significantly shrinks the amount of people that are in the like.
I mean,
the
230
dev
people
part of it.
is still a lot of people. I mean, like removing 20, that's 210 still. I don't know what a dev. He says we're just gonna have to go with the development team, and then whatever that means, it's the important people that make the game.
It's
Ultimately feels like a small number when you consider all the names that scroll past you at the end of.
That's true.
That
But
is
like
true.
there's stuff in there that don't count, like QA doesn't like factor
Yeah,
into
QA
that.
people are probably hired out.
Yeah, and QA
Voice
might.
actors are hired out.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like separate departments as well
Yeah.
within
Like
Square Enix.
battle team, design team, story team, all that.
Yeah.
They're all on the payroll.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right.
it
Anyway,
is a small number of people. It's surprising.
it is surprising, but
I think.
oh no, is it? I think it's a pretty big
It's like-
number.
It's hard to
Is it a
know.
big number or is it a small
No,
number?
you have to think
Compared to normal
200
MMOs.
Put 230 people in a room and say you're like imagine they're working on a game, like one game.
Maybe it is a big number. It's hard to. I don't know how many
It's
people
hard to
usually work on an MMO.
conceptualize.
Yeah. Well, you don't want
How
like
many people?
50 people working on like textures because then you'll have to look like they have to like
No.
coordinate. Like imagine how nightmarish that is. I don't know. I
But
think it's
they have like the droid people, like texture designer, but then they have the texture lead
Yeah.
who signs off.
but that's just
So they have,
one
like, the-
person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then that goes up the chain. So they've probably got a reasonable number of.
Let's say there are like 10 department or 15 departments within the game. That's 15 people. Those are the leads of that, right? And then they have. This is too much. We've
I
gone.
regret starting this
This
conversation.
is crazy. We can't go here. Anyways, Yoshida says the dev team is 230 people. They're
Okay, the original WoW was made by 40 people.
Yeah, there
so
you go.
actually that is.
That's really low.
I'm telling you, it's quite significant
quite
if you
a
start
reasonable number.
running the numbers. There may come a time to talk about what happens to the first from here on out after the end of Shadowbringers. But right now, it isn't time to address that yet.
I agree. It
Yeah.
really it doesn't. Yeah, it seems too soon to talk about the first again.
Yeah. There's quite a few last remnant staff now working in Creative Business Unit 3.
Interesting.
Okay, that was meant to be a good game.
Yeah. With With the popularity of the new movie in Japan, he says he can't stop talking about One Piece.
Yeah. 700 plus episodes.
Yeah, I'm just never going to watch that show.
Just gonna have to watch probably about 7 episodes a day for 3 or 4 years consecutively, and then I can catch up.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought I was impressive when I got through like an 120 episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope.
God.
Okay. New Final Fantasy 16 info is coming in October, which is the month we've just crossed into.
Hey.
He previously indicated a new trailer is penciled in for October. So,
Well, notice
Give us that
there's a difference
gameplay,
between-
please.
Notice that there is a difference between those two things. Previously, he said there would be a trailer. This time, he only said there would be information.
yeah, that's true.
Oh, don't.
Yeah.
I want gameplay.
I want to see
but
gameplay.
I don't want storyline. I don't want you to tell me what the quest is because
No, you've told us
enjoy
too. You
that.
told us
No, I
enough.
don't
You
need
told
this-
us
I
too much
don't need
story.
that, but
Just
I'd
do a
like-
side
I'd like-
quest.
I wouldn't mind seeing more characters. That's the only thing that I
Well,
really want.
Yeah, because
Maybe.
maybe.
But then it'll be exciting to see who pops up and we'll be like, oh, that's cool. They added someone here.
I know that
I know, I know
Mela
that.
wants like nothing, like revealed,
I
don't
which
like
is
nothing.
unrealistic. But yeah, I get it.
I've got over sort of that a bit.
that
I like
era
to
is
en-
over. I'm afraid.
I like to enjoy. Like, I don't want them to just tell me the entire plot before the game's
I
released.
agree.
But
No, I don't think anyone really enjoys knowing the entire plot of something before they go into it.
I'd like to know the
But I just wanna-
overview though, so I know what
yeah, a
the
little bit
world
of the
is
early
that I'm
plots
going into.
and some of the world lore.
Hmm.
Yeah,
There's still so much about the world itself that I'd like to know. Yeah.
yeah.
But I'd love to see some just full gameplay of like picking up a quest and going out and doing it.
Just get a feel of how the game works, like what.
Yeah,
what
what's
it's
the
like.
pacing?
Yeah. That'd be nice. Okay, that is what we got from that stream. Before we jump into the main interview, we are going to have a little bit of a MogMail moment. So let's jump into it. We can do one MogMail at least. Oh, I can already see who the next one is. It's from Twin Towers Among Us, which is still a post-show meme. A hearty... Why are you doing this to
Hello.
me? Hello to
No.
you speakers. First of all, please allow me to apologize for my last letter, the speculation on void sent settlements. I sent it in the week before patch 6.2 dropped and never thought you'd read my cursed meme name the day before 9/11. I spat my drink when you read it out. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Anyways.
Not sorry enough to change your name.
No. Anyway, now that it's all but confirmed that Zero is a shard of us, even resembling the 1.0 Hero protagonist
What?
artwork.
Whoa.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know if I agree with that. Keep going, man.
Whoa. Pump the brakes. I wonder if she'll end up being an anti-Ardbert. Where Ardbert was reviled by his people, Zero is a leader. Where Ardbert allowed himself to rejoin with us, Zero straight up says she'd rather die. Will these little differences build up until she becomes a tragic last boss? Also, would kind of be weird for us to just rejoin all parts of ourselves while opposing the rejoining as a whole. Kind of hypocritical. Thoughts?
Hypocritical.
Hypocritical. Thoughts? P.S. What would be a better name for me if I decide to write in again? I'm just going to say right now, anything but that. Let's not put like tragic events as our
maybe like
usernames.
something nice like Squall Heartily.
Yeah. Or what happened to like good old like XX Sephiroth, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah. One
Or
Winged Angel.
why don't you?
420.
You could use your name, but put X in it and then rearrange it.
Yes.
And people won't know. We'll
Yeah.
all know, but other people won't know.
Yeah, do like a fucking nobody name. Okay. Right. So first of all, I wouldn't say all but confirmed that Zero is
I
a
think
shard
that
of
was
us.
very presumptuous.
Yeah.
Very presumptuous. I don't know what you're on about. Quite frankly.
No.
I kind of like the idea that what's his name? Evil Nightman. What's his name again?
Sorry, who? Evil Nightman?
Golbez?
Golbez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of. I haven't eliminated the possibility that he's our shard on the.
Oh, right, we
I'm
did talk
thinking,
about that.
yeah, I think that could be definitely Zero is the easy option. Golbez is the more interesting option.
Yeah. I'm still not, I don't know yet. I feel like there's not enough to go on to like.
Golbez is talking about war and preparing for war.
Yeah.
The only war we know about that happened there was the Contra Memoria
Yes.
event.
Yeah.
Maybe there's just this, like, maybe they're all, like, stuck in some weird loop or stuck in the past something. He could be preparing to go against the baddies. Who knows? We don't know anything about him.
That's true. Yeah, again, there's not enough information, I think, about him. This might be a red herring, what's going on.
So definitely not all but confirmed.
No, definitely
maybe
not.
He's doing stuff for the benefit of his people. Maybe he understands that living on the 13th is not a way to live, and that's why he wants to bring him and his army to like any other shard that has like ether to exist with.
Yeah, that's true. It might be good for him and his people, but not necessarily for us or whatever shard he's aiming for.
New playable race. Void, man. I guess.
But Voidson can be anything.
No, I don't. No, yeah, Voidson can be anything.
It would have to be a tribe.
Voidsent
I could
tribe.
see that being a thing. Well, I don't know if that'd make it a Voidsent tribe, but if like say next expansion there's like 1 or 2 zones in the void, I could see them like, I don't know, Gremlin tribe or something like that.
Yeah.
For Lalafell.
Yeah.
Yes. But I will say that I do like the idea of Zero being a villain at some point.
Well, that's what we talked
about.
Yes. We talked about that like a couple of weeks ago, that Zeramus might be what Zero becomes at the end. Yeah, I see that.
I don't want Xenos.
No,
I don't want.
Remember, there is always that connection. So as long as Zero is here, there's always a threat of Xenos. Just
pretty sure Zero will tragically die, saving us. And when her ether goes into the live stream, it mingles with Xenos's ether, which hasn't quite. It's like he's leaking out of this world into the live stream because he's such a cool character. It takes him ages to die.
No, here's the thing, mate.
He has not returned to the live stream, has he?
Yeah, he's
floating in space.
Yeah.
No, he's at the far end of a space mailer.
Yeah.
Unless he came back.
Unless the live stream can pull people's souls from into the entire length of the universe away, I'd like to think that he's gone forever.
It moves in mysterious ways, so maybe it can, and he rejoins with her, and they amalgamate into Zero.
See, the thing is, I feel like with the existence of other planets, we've learnt that like the live stream is a unique property to our planet. Like there are planets out there that don't have live streams. Isn't that weird?
Yeah,
I don't. Yeah, to be honest, I'd rather not know.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, I think we disagree on the fact that Zero is a shard of us, but I think you're onto something with the tragic last boss. I think Zeramus might be her final form or something. That's hence that I think the name is so on the nose that it'd be weird almost if she's not. But hey, could be another red herring. You know, they like doing those, so
yeah, we'll see.
Okay. Anyways, thank you. I'm just gonna call you XX One Winged Angel 69 XX. So thank you for your MogMail.
Another question.
Yes, this one ties into what we talked about in a way, so I think we can do that. All right, next. It's from Blake Eclipse from Genova. Hello, speakers. I figured I'd throw my gold. What?
A normal name.
Yeah, I know. Hello, speakers. I figured I'd throw my Golbez theory at you. Golbez is known to have a shadow dragon in 4, which has... More spoilers. Which has led many to think Azdaja will become that. But I think Golbez... I'm just going to ignore that. I think Golbez may be Azdaja, or at least a Nidhogg-like shade of her, possessing something through her eye. We know dragon eyes contain their will and can be used to influence or manipulate the eye bearer. We have seen Golbez appear to have a singular eye, untold power in comparison to other void dwellers, lack the void scent hunger, and somehow be able to keep a dragon subdued. This would also tie into the FF4 homage the devs are going for in a way I won't spoil. So could Azdaja be Golbez, or am I just overthinking this?
This is where you stop yourself.
That's where we draw the line.
Yeah.
I like this theory.
Azdaja be Golbez?
That's an interesting theory.
And so she, now he, is building an army to free herself.
Maybe maybe not even to free herself, but like maybe to go on what we were saying with the last topic. Maybe she has someone who has come from the source and who has seen like what a normal shard looks like, a normal healthy shard looks like. She's like, these people don't deserve this. I need to bring them somewhere where they can thrive.
Yeah. Azdaja had her eyes closed in the cutscene, apparently, so we never saw her eyes.
That's fair.
Interesting. Why would Azdaja capture herself? Well, we don't know that. If
maybe
this theory is correct, then she might be lying. Like she's not actually captured.
Yeah,
she's just presenting herself that way.
Tiamat, as an example, where she could leave her confines just fine.
Yeah, anytime she wanted, but she chose to stay there.
Chose to stay
because she's a horrible.
Well, at first she chose to stay because she was punishing herself. But don't worry, that was retcon when they said, I'm actually tempered, so that's why I've chosen to stay.
Yeah.
She was punishing herself in my canon. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's, again, this is what happens when we've just been presented with, new lore, and there's no development. We've not had any development yet, so that's why we get all these wild theories. Yeah, I mean, it can happen. I mean, the one eye Golbez it's a thing, So I wouldn't throw this out the window. We haven't seen Azdaja yet, other than in the flashback.
Something that I think will be interesting with Azdaja is that she left during a period of time when presumably mankind and dragon hate each other still.
No. The Mericidians lived alongside dragons.
I suppose that's true, yeah. How long ago? Yeah.
That was...
Yeah, maybe she was alright, actually, yeah.
Yeah. The Dragon Song War was like 1,000 years ago.
That would have been later, yeah.
And also, the Dragon Song War was only between Nidhogg's brood and Ishgard, not every...
And the Allegans were like 3,000 years ago, so that's like 2,000 years before the Dragon Song War anyway, so
she's not heard about any of that.
They lived
I thought it was 10,000 years ago.
Was it 10,000 years ago? Right, yeah.
I mean, if it was 3,000 years ago, we would have gone through the War of the Magi, the Fourth Astral Era, a lot between now and then. And
I always forget that
the Sixth Astral Era was 1,500 years
I always forget
long.
that the Sixth Astral was 1,500 years. Like it's a lot. I always think that they're so short, these eras, but no. It's like 1,500 years. Okay. And that was considered a short era.
Alleg was like 5,000 years ago. That would make more sense as well in terms of like the length of each era.
Yeah.
Because I know they recently said it. I think it might have been in one of the Tales from the Dawn, or it could have been in the MSQ. I can't remember exactly when, but I know they've confirmed the amount of time. Okay, so Breacher says it.
Right. Yeah. Okay, well, there you go. Thank you, Blake. Thank you for your MogMails. You can send in more MogMails at speakersxiv.com/MogMail. But now we must move on to the interview. This is the interview.
What the hell is this?
What are you talking about? This is just a picture of Yoshi-P and his best friend.
That's really good.
Anyways, Yoshi-P was interviewed by Eurogamer. there are times when I question myself. This was one of them.
He looks like the head from Power Rangers.
Zordon.
Yeah. Anyways, Eurogamer interviewed Yoshi-P recently about on how to 6.2 and how he made the ultimate MMORPG, and also about playing solo in a multiplayer world, which is the never-ending. It's the topic almost all video game journalists are bringing up now when they talk to anyone who directs an MMO. It's like solo play. MMO.
How can I play this without interacting in your massively multiplayer game?
Yes. Okay, let's jump into it.
We'll not go into that.
No. Okay. The recently added patch 6.2 was arguably Final Fantasy XIV's most diverse update yet. Front and center.
It's true, and it's not even over yet.
Right. True. Front and center was the Island Sanctuary, a farming life sim mode that offers a relaxing alternative to dungeon battling through duties and raids. That was on top of more main scenario and side quests, treasure hunts, housing options, and an extension of the duty support feature that lets players quest alone. All of this variety is in line with producer and director Naoki Yoshida's idea of the ultimate MMORPG. Quote, "My idea of the ultimate MMORPG is one in which each player playing the game can pick and choose the content they want to play, and the developers take into account the myriad values held by the players, responding to as many requests as possible," he told Eurogamer. So what I mean to say is the game will further develop if it can meet the needs of many players, not just the needs of a particular type of player. In my eyes, the ultimate ideal is not playing all the game content, but being able to choose what content you want to play.
So that's something that can be seen in like some of the role-playing features, like instruments and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would also say that there are people that don't play every piece of content. I don't know if that's necessarily us, but like there are people that don't touch PvP. There are people that don't touch like every job because they don't feel the need to.
Yeah.
So there's just story left in the game that's untouched for them.
Yes.
That's true. But I also feel there are people that even if they absolutely detest content, they will feel an obligation or a need to do it for whatever reason. And so having too much content, there needs to be a balance.
Yeah.
You need to think about the balance of it.
Yeah. I think this is I think we've talked about this endlessly about how MMOs have to adapt to the world right now. And I think I feel like I have to play everything. Like when in an MMO, I feel like I have to have at least done some of it. But now there are players that come into the game and are like, I only want this. And that's all they do. Like they have no like PvP profile. They have no they haven't unlocked certain things. I'm like, are you? But that's how people.
It's weird, isn't it? But
yeah,
you know, good on them, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, at least they
can prioritize their time.
Yes.
Yeah, and they can fully complete the things they enjoy rather than having many things half finished.
Yeah, yeah.
They can afford to play other games.
Yes.
Exactly.
Like chat saying, Rollo's friends that only play Mahjong.
Yeah, good on them.
True.
That's crazy to me. Like some people just log in to play like Gold Saucer. That's all they've unlocked is like Gold Saucer. Whoa. Okay.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
There are some people that have probably never done a leave quest in their life, Likio.
That's horrible. That's horrible to think about. Well, yeah. Yeah, because they don't really force you to do a leave quest anymore, do they, in the MSQ?
Didn't you have to do one when you got to like...
You'd used to before, but I don't think they do that anymore.
Used to. I don't think that ever forces you. It's possible they might think that leave quests are only for gatherers and crafters, Likio.
Yeah.
Not even
don't say that.
Concept of a combat leave.
What's even worse is that if they don't do the initial leave quest, I think they never unlock battle leaves. I don't think that ever... I think you need to do one of the city-state quests to get the like leave quests unlocked. Which is crazy.
There are people who, I mean,
or did
there's probably even less people who have done temple leaves.
To be honest, Mela, I didn't even know Temple Leaves existed when I did Heavensward.
Yeah.
I only did them for the amber, for the amber
Amber
encased vial
yeah.
gun. Yeah.
Yep.
God.
God, it was
Those were the
horrible.
days.
So disappointing. I still remember so vividly doing those like temple leave quests down in like Charlian, old Charlian, that area, and just realizing that it's just the same leaves we've been doing for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
They just last longer. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh god.
You pay 10 leaves, but you get the XP for about 3.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
And the best part is that you have to pick them up in Ishgard, then go to other zones to do them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, I have to say, that's the worst. I think that's how they killed Lee. Like, one of many steps they took to kill Leaves was when they removed the return to leave meet option. Because now it's just return to nearest settlement. How's that gonna fucking help me? I need to deliver it to the leave meet. They're not necessarily. You're sending me somewhere else.
The Realm Reborn ones still work. It's just in Heavensward they couldn't because the game back then was not advanced enough to do that via a mechanic such as leaves, because they are able to do it in the MSQ now. They can send you from one zone to another.
Yeah.
Crazy, isn't it?
It's
leaves were
baffling.
always going to die because battle leaves just don't give enough XP.
Which again is such. Oh god, I'm so tired of
here's
defending
the
Leaves.
thing. Battle leaves do at lower levels, I think.
Yeah.
At low levels, they give.
I think if you do like your 5, or if you really want to, 20 leaves for the challenge logs, like the experience from the leaves themselves plus the challenge logs is pretty worth it at those levels.
Yeah.
At low levels, but it tapers off too
Well,
quickly. Like, you're not going to do, you can't level with leaves at like level 40 to 50.
Yes, you can.
Well,
I did.
Not 40 to 50. Well, remember there was the huge big nerf. There was like the big nerf of leaves that happened at some point where they lowered the base EXP gain
Well, that is true.
on all leaves. And I think from that point on, you can level, but it takes longer
ages.
than it used to. Like before, that was like, if you were
You
good
can only
with
do 4
leaves,
at a time as well.
exactly.
No.
But
Here's the thing: you can do 4 at a time. Plus, if you're in a zone that has Grand Company leaves, you can do 10 at a time.
That's true.
and if you have a friend, you can leave share,
Oh,
and that
no one ever
doubles
does
what you
that.
both
Who
have.
the hell does that?
You
Who the
get the
hell
does
EXP
that?
from them.
I
No
don't wanna
one
do leaves
leaves
with other people.
shares. Yeah. You know, actually, I would happily say I reckon about 17 people who have ever played this game have ever leave
Melan,
shared.
but we've leave shared, but we leave shared after it was nerfed. Imagine if leaves gave the amount of EXP that they used to, and there was actually good loot to be found. Remember that there was random treasure coffers that would spawn as well during your leave. You could find treasure with gear in it, and then they just never updated them. So now you just get like a level 3 like gray like fucking boot. And it's like, oh, nice. I'm going to keep that in my collection. But imagine if they kept that, like, he's talking about having different types of content for different kinds of people. Why have they not updated the leaves to make that
agree with
additional
you.
content?
I think battle leaves should be up to the end level cap, and they should give you proportionately decent XP where you can go through like 10 to 15 leaves. Oh no, well, I don't know, 10 leaves per level at like level 60, 70, 80, 90, like a good enough amount that it's worth doing. I don't know what the exact number would be.
I've always said that one way to bring back leaves was to add them as like a method of mixing up gameplay in exploration zones, like Diadem and Bosnia.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not Diadem.
Yeah, we talked about that as like a exploratory thing where you'd go and you pick up your daily leaves or your hunts or whatever, and you'd run out and you do your daily stuff, and that's for like the relic or for whatever. It doesn't matter what it's for.
Yeah.
It's a great way of doing just end game. Like you could get Gil and Tomes from it, or lower level leveling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a good idea.
Also,
it's so easy.
but
to
also I have to say, Leaves is like he always talks about like playing solo. That's essentially what Leaves allow you to do.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can play alone. Sometimes I don't want to do a duty.
Actually was soloable, and you didn't just have to suffer killing one mob at a time for like 15 minutes of fight.
Well, everyone, this has been your seasonal Leave defense.
Yeah.
By the speakers.
Please bring
We will
back the
continue with
goddamn
your regularly
Leaves.
scheduled interview.
Yeah.
Okay. How much of each type of content to we've started this is back to the interview just for the audio listeners as well. This might be jarring. How much of each type of content to implement is determined through discussions among the core staff, including myself as director, the assistant director, the content director, the battle director, and so on. Having said that,
all these jobs, Yoshi-P?
having said that, at the end of the day, it boils down to making a judgment based on what we feel would be appropriate. So we will release the content and then iteratively make adjustments while keeping an eye on the player feedback. Do you like that when I encounter a word I'm not sure about, I say it and then there's a pause. I'm waiting for a correction.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Makes sense.
You need to. That's how you make content. You don't keep making content for things that people either don't want or don't talk about.
Right. Yeah.
Or don't do. They would have those stats as well internally.
Yeah.
That's why Blue Mage is still low level.
Probably.
It's level 70. It's not that.
No, I know.
Got an
It's
update
just
in like 5.4. That's not that long ago.
Yeah, it is for those people who only do Blue Mage, I imagine.
Yeah.
If there's people who only do Blue
That's
Mage,
fair.
it sucks for them.
I suspect we'll get a Blue Mage update in one patch this expansion.
I agree.
Yeah.
Up to 80, new mount maybe, or new
Yeah.
titles at least.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Final Fantasy XIV has proven to be incredibly popular with the series fan base and financially successful for Square Enix. You're welcome.
Oh, wow.
With an ever-growing audience of players, it's clearly important to diversify content and provide something for everyone. It's so sad that 14 has to carry Square Enix on its shoulders because we've talked about this before. Square Enix is all over the place right now. So better keep playing this game, everyone. Otherwise, they might be in trouble.
All over the place, but I feel like it's got a lot of good, or at least interesting games coming out in the next couple of months.
Well, let's hope they don't tank.
Minimum,
but
it's got like 3 or 4 interesting games.
7, obviously, everything related to 7 is going to do well. And
2 7 games, 16 Tactics Ogre Forspoken.
Well,
Harvestella.
Not all of them will be good. Octopath
Traveler 2.
Oh yeah, Octo 2.
True, Octo 2. Yeah, let's hope.
They've got quite a smorgasbord.
Yeah.
Of interesting games.
But at the moment of this episode, not great. Not great.
No,
Various Day Life.
Yeah.
Layla's favorite titled game.
Oh yes.
Such a bad
I
name.
hate this trend that I think Octopath Traveler started, where they just release the game with like the
development name,
yeah.
working title.
I find like a sort of dark amusement from like the way they sort of just jam words together. Like,
yeah.
We have made a game title.
Yeah.
This game has 8 stories.
Yeah.
Octopath.
Yep.
Well, it was called Octopath originally, mate. Like they added Traveler.
I think Octopath without Traveler sounds cooler. Personally.
Yeah,
I think it makes it sound like.
But...
I think it kind of makes it sound like a venereal disease.
I caught the Octopath.
I've got Octopath.
I got Octopath right now. I'm legally. I have to tell you.
Yeah.
The main point is not that we are focusing exclusively on single-player content in particular, but rather that the scale of the game, its content...
No, you skipped something.
Oh, shit, in the bag. The duty support system may initially seem to be an odd fit. After all, Final Fantasy XIV is a multiplayer game, so why allow players to complete duties solo? Yoshida believes it can provide an entry point to the game.
Slippery slope.
Yeah? Well... It could also be a slippery slope in the other direction, though, Mela, for new players. They start solo, and then they realize, there are a lot of people running around here. Maybe I should try to play with someone.
I mean, it's not so much an issue with the MSQ. That's where the duty support exists. But like, people just don't do old content as much, so it definitely helps to have this.
Yeah, it's also
as a backup.
It's also
But
future-proofing
queues
for
as well, yeah.
when the game dies. The main point is not that we're focusing exclusively on single-player content in particular, but rather that the scale of the game, its content, and development has finally grown to the extent that we can provide content tailored to solo players, he said. Another reason is that in further developing Final Fantasy XIV and expanding its scale, I want to guide people who have been thinking that connecting with other players is a pain in MMORPGs, so that ultimately they'll come to appreciate the fun of playing with others. As an entry point into the game, being able to play the main scenario solo is a huge plus.
That's true.
See, there you go,
It's
mate.
the main. It's the main like thing for a Final Fantasy game is the story. And
Yes.
no one wants to be cut out of it for 40 minutes in a queue.
Right.
Yeah, they're getting these people to dip their toes in the water, and then they're going to be like drawn in by the inferi that is the 14 player base.
Yeah.
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 They'll be so naive. They'll have done all of their dungeons with Thancred and all the lads.
Yeah.
And then suddenly they'll be like, oh, maybe I'll try playing with others. And then it's, why aren't you DPSing more? Stupid healer. You're supposed to be DPSing and healing me.
Yeah.
Like a
Well,
bully.
they'll first get that experience with King Mogmog, so I'm sure that's
true.
a wonderful introduction to other people.
That's true.
Why aren't you killing the right enemies, you stupid tank?
That's not a thing anymore, Mailer.
No. True. The islands... Yeah, go on. What?
No, I was just laughing.
Oh, I see. I see. The Island Sanctuary is a further extension of the diversification of content. I wanted to provide a place where players could
leisurely.
I almost said that in a weird way. Leisurely spend their time without participating in battles.
You sound like
leisurely.
You sound like
I can't say it anymore.
You sound like the too much butter guy.
Leisurely spend their time without participating.
Or leisurely, either is fine.
Yeah, without participating in battles. I've also had 2 G Fuels before the stream. I just want to say that now. It was also our aim to cover the needs that housing could not, such as letting one's minion roam free and expanding the area available to players. Eventually, as I was thinking about these things, a popular Japanese TV show ended up giving me the idea of the island concept, and the content took shape as you see it today, he said, laughing.
Sanctuary has been one of the, at least up till now, I feel like it has been a success. Like,
great success.
We often get like things that they promise for like months or years up until their eventual release, and then they're just disappointing to at least a segment of the player base. But I feel like Island Sanctuary, for the most part, has been received well by.
It's been an absolute joy to go through.
It's also just not something you really like. Sometimes when they add things to the game, it's like, oh god, I have to do it. I'll miss out. Exactly. Never happened with Island Sanctuary. I'm as far behind as I want to be. I don't care about how far others are because it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. Like I haven't even looked for any special creatures. I have like one, which is kidney stones, which is the yellow goblin. That's all I have. I don't care. And I haven't been in there for like a week. I don't even know what's happening right now.
Animals are starving.
My animal. No, I've given.
But they can't die.
I made like 1 million feeds, and then they're being handled, so it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, my animals are doing great.
Yeah, I got the bike. Yeah, so I feel like I've achieved what I wanted. There are the other mounts, of course. I'm going to get those eventually, but as you know, I don't really care about mounts, so I'll take it when I get it. When I get it.
There's also gear, equestrian rolls.
Yeah.
Minions.
Wings.
I'll get it when I get it.
Well, wasn't going to bring up the fashion accessory.
Wings. Just some wings.
No, not getting the wings.
It's also a really good way to get crafting and gathering materia, to be honest.
True.
That's
true. Yeah.
And that's the rare materia.
Yes.
Which hopefully now it'll actually go down in price. So win-win.
Yeah. Yeah. Indeed, the team has been criticized for its handling of housing in the game, a feature that's been overwhelmed with popularity. Instead, the Island Sanctuary provides a space where players can look after animals, cultivate the land, and express creativity through customization. Sadly, it's only available to players up to date in the story rather than being accessible from the start, but this is all tied into the plot.
Exactly. That's not something you can complain about, I think.
Yeah.
You can visit it still. You can visit other people's islands.
Yeah. Also, it really makes me think, that housing sucks in the game, right? It's stupid. The system is stupid.
It is.
And it becomes more apparent when you play Island Sanctuary. It's like, this is essentially, we could have housing here, but instead they have
a cottage.
Yeah, you're essentially building a cottage, but why can we not place furniture? Like, why is that so difficult? Like, it isn't. It's because they don't want to damage the housing system, which is shitty. The housing system is bad.
They don't want to damage the housing system. I fear it's just spaghetti.
I don't know. I feel don't we already know that the Island Sanctuary is hosted on the same server system as housing?
It is houses on the same server system, but that doesn't mean that they're entirely interchangeable.
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know about the back
some
end
information,
of
but it'll just say plot 1 is workshop, and then with some extra information. I don't know. I feel like it might be difficult for them to, because would you only be able to put outdoor furniture because it's an outdoor area?
Oh,
I mean, they could classify it entirely as an indoor area if they wanted to. I don't see what. Or they could, if that is.
Then you can't do any outdoor furniture.
Maybe they could do a flag where both go. I mean, I don't know.
It's difficult.
Indoor.
Well, no. Okay, let me clarify what I think would be the best solution. Only the cabin is where you can put furniture.
Not even that. No, I've got a better idea, and by better I mean worse. That eventually, when they expand the amount of plots you can have for things, you can dedicate one, and then you have your square of outdoor furniture.
Oh my god. Yeah.
That would be lovely.
That's how I feel like furnishings will eventually come to Island Sanctuary if they ever do.
I don't see why they can't just have one plot which you can build a cottage on and then upgrade it to a medium and then a mansion and then it has an indoor area.
I don't think they want an instance within an instance.
That's their foolish nature.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, where possible, I did want this content available to players at early levels in the game, but I considered that in the current story, we've reached an opportune moment, and we're now in the position to provide such an island to our hero. Hence, in the end, I had no choice but to make clearing 6.0 one condition. To make clearing 6.0 one condition to access the content. You see, these types of things are tied to the fact that we're extremely particular about Final Fantasy XIV story, said Yoshida.
I think it makes sense. I think it would be stupid to be given an entire island at level 1.
Remember where you are at the beginning of A Realm Reborn. They've the calamity is literally still a problem. There's people are still recovering from a horrible disaster, and then they're like, here's a new island we want to colonize. What? Limsa is in no state to colonize anything right now.
Maybe maybe after 2.0 they could, but I don't think they would give you the island. I don't think they could justify giving you an island. I think it would be more like, you are an indentured servant. Work this land for us.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is a much more pleasant way of introducing it to us.
Yes.
You have to make 1,000 calories a day.
With so much content added to the game, it must be difficult to please everyone. Something Yoshida recently admitted was impacting the Final Fantasy series as a whole. But for its flagship MMORPG specifically, he believes further expansions to the game will only benefit players. I am not sure about Final Fantasy XIV becoming so big it doesn't quite satisfy everyone. The larger the game becomes, the more content should be available to suit player preferences. Hence, in my opinion, any growth in the game's scale is basically of benefit to the players, and there's nothing bad that will come out of it, he said.
Oh, that's a strong statement to live by. Nothing bad will come out of it. I mean, it's probably
Well, there's
true,
nothing wrong with content.
I mean, also, I'm sure that's his goal. I think that's always the ideal, that nothing bad will come out of it.
Right. To celebrate the launch... What?
I think there are obvious technical difficulties with this MMO. So I personally, and you're all aware of this, don't think the current glamour system is acceptable, but I know it's never going to change to what I want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
No.
He's essentially, yes, straight up just said that's never happening.
So
a glamour log.
The game will become bigger and bigger and bigger, but the glamour system will always remain
14
rubbish.
has an extreme technical debt, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
They've done so much to it, though, from where it started, Mela. You used to have 5 different glamour prisms across 7 different crafters.
Yeah, those were the days.
And
I made so much money.
You used to be able to not store the gear you want to wear anywhere.
No.
So you had to pay for retainers if you wanted an excess of beyond what the game already gave you.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
we've come such. Yeah, I mean,
if you look at it that way,
where we've.
They're good at keeping up with the technical debt. They are not able to pay it off fully, though.
Exactly.
But that's how it is. Okay. To celebrate the launch of the Island Sanctuary, a week-long live stream took place in Mudshoot Farm, London, lovingly called MogShoot Farm for the occasion. And we're just gonna not mention that. I'm just gonna say Goatsy. It was a cute way to promote the update, with fans particularly taken with a male chicken renamed Xenos after one of the game's main antagonists.
Xenos.
Who calls it a male chicken? You can just call it a rooster.
Yeah, no, male chicken.
No, male chicken.
Yeah, that is weird. Male chicken. Yoshida was particularly taken with the stream, but can we expect a Xenos chicken minion or mount in the future?
Yeah, please.
I'll avoid giving any definite answer about whether or not Xenos the chicken will make an appearance in-game, but I can say that the stream turned out to be a great source of stimulation for thinking up future rewards, he said. That's what the man himself said.
What, 12 hours? Let's not forget that the first hour of it was in silence.
It's 5 days long, Mela.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah. That was a weird time. That was a weird
It was just pure
concept.
silence.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looking at donkeys in, quite frankly, cruel conditions.
No, they were not cool.
Until eventually they tarted up the arena with some, screenshots from the game.
Now
and
that was
named
weird.
The chicken Xenos.
That somehow made it worse was when they put the little cardboard cutouts in there. I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
It was such a
feel like the
fever
animals would
dream.
have just been confused.
Yeah, like what the hell?
Thinking
what the hell is a
cat gets a
giant
much
chicken?
nicer place than I do.
Yeah.
As the donkeys rub against each other trying to turn around. Those poor donkeys.
I don't
Treat
remember
them
that
better.
specifically, but yeah.
I remember it strongly because I was thinking,
remember
some
the
of these
Windows
animals have a nice.
the Windows update
Oh,
as well
yeah.
that took down the stream? That was funny as well.
That
God.
was funny.
What a stream.
Sort your donkeys out.
It's still so perplexing. Like, who proposed this?
I really want to know.
Yeah.
Do you know, I think it was probably that. You know, the man who decides the stats for the minions. Obviously, he only gets a little bit of work every patch.
Yeah.
So in his other, his downtime, which is most of his career,
Yeah.
he just watches YouTube videos about animals, and he came across Mudshoot Farm.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so sorry to that man.
Yeah. MogShoot for farm. That's how they end it. The possibility of a Xenos chicken minion.
That would be a nice seasonal event and a nice nod to this time to have a Xenos the chicken.
Yeah.
Minion.
I just don't want anything Xenos back.
It was a nice chicken. It was a nice male chicken.
It was a nice male chicken.
I'm not against the idea of a rooster Xenos minion. I think that's
chicken.
funny.
Yeah, it's funny. But male chicken is probably a better name for it, to be honest. I think that's pretty good as well. Male chicken. Okay, well, anyways, that's it for the main show. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. Remember, Spooktober begins tomorrow. Go to speakersxiv.com/Spooktober22 to check out our schedule. There are subject to change based on when a certain speaker is available who's not here right now. So we'll see if it's Man of Medan tomorrow. If not, we'll reshuffle. Remember to follow on Twitter at SpeakersXIV, twitch.tv/SpeakersXIV, and youtube.com/SpeakersXIV, exclamation Discord in chat if you want to join our Discord server. If you're watching on demand, links in the description. Stay tuned if you're watching live. We'll be answering questions from the Syndicate. And, as promised from yesterday, I'm going to eat a lemon and a lime. So, there you go. What an exciting tease for the post-show. We'll see you there.
Oh, wow.
Bye.